Greetings, my friends, and welcome to my home. We're going to be talking a little bit about the logic die, which is a mnemonic device. A mnemonic device is anything that triggers your brain and causes you to remember something. It's going to be the basis of our book, How to Do the Impossible, a step-by-step process for solving problems and achieving your goals. We are going to be working on developing our critical thinking skills, and we're going to use this new tool, the logic die, to help us to do it. It's going to require a paradigm shift to start with. A paradigm shift is where you see something one way and all of a sudden you change your mind and you see it a totally different way, or you see it in a new light that you hadn't seen it before. And that's the case with these dies. Normally you would see a die like this, which is a casino die. It's just a thing of chance. It's a game piece. Where this is a logic die, it is actually used to help us to organize our thoughts. Where this is a thing of chance, this will be a thing of choice. Each side will teach you a lesson. For an example, let's say that you're racing around the board as fast as you can possibly go. With this, you might roll a 2, which is not that great, or a 4, which is a whole lot better, but 6 would be your highest. 6 would be your absolute best. With this, you take a chance at doing your best. With this, you choose to do your best. And how do you do your best? By focusing on one thing at a time. So 1 will just teach us the lesson of focus. 6 teaches the lesson of doing our best. And of course, that's what we want to do, is our best all the time. In an effort to make things just a little bit easier for you, rather than using this small die as I explain the process, I'm going to use this larger wood die for you. This actually has 7 sides, even though all the dice that we normally see have 6 sides because we count the 6 outsides. This one we're going to include the inside, and we're going to imagine it to be this block of gold. You know, the inside actually makes up over 99.9% of this entire die right here. The inside's invisible, you can't see it. And it's who you and I are on the inside that counts. You know, if we change our lives, we change our lives from the inside out. People judge us by our outside or the things that they see, but it's who you and I are on the inside. So that's where we're going to focus on making those changes. And of course, all those starts not only in your heart, but in your brain. So let's get started. This logic die is a mnemonic device. The word mnemonic just means something that triggers your brain and causes you to remember something. Albert Einstein said imagination is the true sign of intelligence, not knowledge. It's not how much stuff that we can stick up in our brains. It's our ability to use our imagination, to begin to develop thoughts in our own mind. One of the things we want to use our imagination for is on our logic die, we want to take and just cover up these 2 pips, and so we can begin to imagine that we see the inside, okay, this block of gold. And as we see that, what we want to do is now imagine that we have 2 pillars that is standing in front of our block of gold. The block of gold represents you and I. It's who we are on the inside, is all this block of gold. But these 2 pillars actually represents what we want to accomplish in our life. We want to do our best. And so as we do it, when we do our best, we're going to stand pillars up in our lives. But how do we do our best? By focusing on one thing at a time. Every time we've ever done our best in our whole life is because we've been focused. Therefore, if we want to take and do our best on anything, we realize our first step is just to focus. Any one thing we focus on, we know there's 2 sides. There's what we know and what we don't know about that one thing that we want to do our best on. And so we can't have a closed mind. We have to have an open mind. That's right. Benjamin Franklin used to take a sheet of paper and he would just divide it right in half. He would put the pros on one side and he'd put the cons on the other side. So side 1 is going to be focus, side 2 is going to be break it down, and side 3, you will find yourself right here in the middle. You see it? This has a little gold on it. That's going to be you. All right. And you're going to talk to this person, get some outside advice, and then that person's going to be gone. You're going to talk to this person, get some outside advice, and that's the person going to be gone. But now you know what this person knew about that one thing you wanted to do your best on, and you also knew what the other person knew about that one thing you want to do your best on. So side 3 is really just about seeking outside advice. You're in the middle. You do your research if you need to do research. You take and you talk to people and you get some outside advice. Anywhere that you can begin to gain information about that one thing you want to do your best on, you begin to accumulate that knowledge. In addition to the 6 external sides and the 1 internal side, making 7 sides, every die actually will have a total of 8 points. When you see this point right here, that's where sides 1, 2, and 3 come together to make what we call the top pivot point. 4, 5, and 6 come together to make the bottom pivot point, and then we pivot it like this, okay? And each side teaches a lesson. Remember, because this is a mnemonic device, it's supposed to trigger your memory and help you to remember things. So it has 8 points. So what is the point of the points? Or what are the points going to help you to remember? Well, ask yourself, what letter in the alphabet does point start with? And of course, the answer is P. It's a P word. There's lots of P lessons that we want to learn. Our first P lesson is simply this: pictures. Our brain thinks in pictures. Every single thing we do or accomplish in life, we picture it before it actually happens. When we take control of the pictures that we have in our mind, that's how we take control of our life circumstances. When we change the picture, we change the circumstances. When you set goals, what you're really doing is you're picturing something into the future. Everything that's ever been created by mankind started in somebody's imagination as they began to develop that picture, and then went through the creation process before it became a reality. The clothes that you're wearing, the building that you're in, the computer that you use, every single thing was pictured in somebody's mind before it became a reality. And so the first P lesson is pictures. You want to begin to take control and develop the pictures that you hold in your mind. A couple of P words is problems we want to solve and projects that we want to accomplish. If there's any problem that you want to solve, let's begin to focus on it and do our best on solving that particular problem. If there's a projects that we want to accomplish, let's focus on that project and let's commit to do our best. Remember, if we're going to do our best on anything, we're going to begin just to break it down so that we can begin to understand it a little bit better. All education, all learning is going to be simple as focus on one thing at a time, look at both sides of the story, sort of break that down, try to get a good understanding, talk to some people, get some outside advice, okay, and then focus on it again. So it's going to be simple as focus, look at both sides of the story, talk to people and get some outside advice, and focus again. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Focus, break it down, ask yourself questions, talk to people, and get some outside advice. The title of our book is How to Do the Impossible, and that is really taught on side 4 of the logic die. You'll want to get your book and go over this, but this is much simpler than you think, doing the impossible.